Alright, so I finished Fairy Tail again. Terrible joke given the first one. I know, shut up, deal with it. Yeah, so we finished the 2014 Fairy Tail anime, or Season 2, whatever you wish to call it. So this video we'll be talking about Fairy Tail Zero. And the last little bit that comes after, like the last 2 episodes after the Fairy Tail Zero content. So yeah, let's just get through that. Probably won't take very long. On the whole, kind of nice, kind of wholesome. We get to learn about Mavis. I quite like Mavis as a character, in all fairness. Both before this and more so now afterward. We also get a little bit of background on, you know, some characters like Warrod, I believe his name was, the Tree Man, and Precht, or Hades, you know, that guy. We also found out about Makarov's dad. Not really relevant, but hey, he's there, I guess. We get to see Mavis learn magic, and we get to see, you know, the other 3 learn magic as well for the first time. We see where Laxus gets his lightning from. And they learn from Zeref himself, which is quite an interesting little story beat there. And it explains why Mavis and Zeref have such a connection. I was about to say close connection, but not really. Because we've seen Mavis in ghost form talking directly to Zeref. Even though they can't see each other, Zeref can't see Mavis, he's clearly aware that she's there. I think he says that he knows he's there, even though we can't hear her or see her. Yeah, which is quite interesting. Also, the big twist of Fairy Tail Zero being that Zera isn't real. She's just in Mavis's head because she cast illusion magic by accident when she was a child. Only on herself. Weird. But hey, sure. Cool, I guess. Yeah, and we also get to see Law, you know, which will be the first step of what becomes, presumably, Fairy Law, and the 3 spells that Fairy Tail has, those big, you know, Fairy Law, Fairy Sphere, and Fairy Glitter. Nice, I guess. On the whole, like I said, just kind of a wholesome little bit of past stuff. Yeah, it was alright. It was nice. Again, like 6 out of 10. And then we get the last couple episodes of the 2014 anime, which cover, well, I don't know, but just before the start of the final season, with Natsu coming back after being gone for a year, you know, in his training arc in the mountains or wherever. Lucy is a journalist, you know, there's the Grand Magic Games, as it was a year ago, but it's boring this year because there's none of the cool guilds in it, and Fairy Tail aren't there, which is why Sabretooth aren't there, as we find out in the final season, and so on and so on and so on. And Natsu shows up and absolutely wrecks face, and then they fuck off to go find the rest of the original guild to re-establish it. So yeah, not really a lot to say on that, given that's more final season stuff. But yeah, that was nice. Anyway, given that I've now covered everything from the 2014 anime, what are my overall thoughts on it? Overall, I'd say probably about the same as the 2007 anime. If anything, maybe a little bit worse than the 2007 anime in terms of like story content. So the early parts of Fairy Tail, I think, actually do better, mainly because the Grand Magic Games are right at the end of the 2007 anime. That one hits. That arc is so fucking good, at least by comparison. And the 2014 anime doesn't really have any arcs that are of that same caliber, again, by comparison, so I'd have to say, I'd say it's a little bit worse than the, you know, first season or 2007's Fairy Tail. Overall, at least. There was definitely some lower points, but there weren't really any higher points, so yeah, lower. Worse quality, in my opinion. Also, one thing I want to point out as well that I haven't mentioned so far is for some reason the visuals seem worse in this season as well. Not just like animation quality, but also like the colors. They feel like the saturation's lower. They feel washed out for some reason compared to the first season, and having started the final season, they're also washed out compared to that. I assume it was a stylistic thing. They wanted to try, maybe keep it in line with the way the actual manga looked by, you know, lowering the saturation, washing out the colors a bit more, but in my opinion, it just made it less, not necessarily enjoyable because it doesn't affect that, but it's definitely nicer to look at when the colors are brighter. Obviously, I'm not saying that just because I'm not saying, oh, brighter color means better visuals. That's not true, but in the case of Fairy Tail, I feel like the washed out colors just didn't quite, they weren't quite as pleasing to the eye as the brighter visuals of the first and final season, at least so far in the final season. But yeah, expect probably one more of these. I'll probably review all of the final season in one go. At least I'll try to, at least. It depends. But yeah, I'll probably do the final season all in one go, and it'll be a terrible video titled, I actually finished Fairy Tail this time, or something like that, given I've done 3 where I've been like, I finished Fairy Tail. So yeah, look forward to that in maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. It might be a little bit longer. For that one, because I've got to watch all of Fairy Tail Zero, of the final season for that. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Let me know yours in the comments. Yeah, like, sub, notification bell. Yeah, YouTube stuff. Anyway, without the way, I've been Animosity, you've been you, and I will catch you next time for the video. Ta-ta. For now.